Yeah, so today we're here with another video.
And another topic.
Yeah, we saw you guys last week. Well, last week, the week before.
The week before, yeah.
Yeah, we saw the comments, the likes, the shares. Thank you.
It was very insightful. Some of them were very supportive.
Yeah.
Well, most of them, or all of them, if I should say, very supportive. Persons like the initiative, and I think that's what we were going for. So.
The person that suggested that we do the videos once a week, we heard you and we are seriously considering it because I tested out the whole 2-week thing and I don't think that we like it at all. It's too, the space is too big. It's too long. So once a week, we comment.
You know how really, really dark chocolate skin guys talk to you? Yeah, so.
Everybody, but I feel we can get sidetracked, but everybody all hot up for the light skin niggas and they light skin face. Yo, dark
just get a fade there.
And waves. We're not doing it. Stop it! Anyway, so in the last video, we asked you guys to do a challenge with us. The Proverbs 31 woman challenge. Guys can do it as well, but because for the one that we asked you guys to do, we just wanted you to list 5 things a day that you like about yourself. Yeah. I apologize. I didn't do it. Life got in the way. I am sorry. I don't even know what happened. I just didn't. So what we're going to do, we're going to list 5 things for you today. Yeah. So we're not going to start.
Yeah. Okay. I'll list 5 things real quick. I like my face. At first I didn't. No nose bridge, no eyebrows, me got talk. But it was it just all came together. I mean, what's it not to like? I just like it. It suits my body. It's fine. I like that. I love my sense of humor. I love how sexual it is.
Game of Thrones spell shame.
How morbid it is. How I can maneuver around a crowd with my sense of humor. I like how I've learned to handle situations without my temper spiking. Learn to deal with things, especially when it comes to different people. I like the fact that I've been able to give advice really good. I like how open I am when it comes to giving other people advices or listening to their complaints or plights or whatever it is, and being able to put myself in their shoes. Just kind of be that shoulder. Yeah. How much is that? Is that 4?
I didn't count 10.
But yeah, basically.
Cheated. I don't cheat. With the challenge, before I list mine, with the challenge, you can't repeat anything. So if, how Renata said this week that she likes her face, then tomorrow she can't say that again. She has to find something else. So, okay, so with mine, I like my ability to love. It's not blatantly obvious, but it's always there. I learned it from my mommy. She's the strongest woman I know, and I don't know, she has this ability, no matter what people do to her, she's always able to look past it and just give this love genuinely. So I like that. I like my artistic abilities. I put all of my experiences, whether it's into poetry, art, painting, vlogging, anything, and I feel like that way I could acknowledge the good in the bad, right? There's 2. 3, I like my ability to give the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I judge, but I form an opinion, but I also give you the benefit of the doubt, and it's up to you to prove me wrong or not, right? I also like that I can be a chameleon. I can fit into literally any situation and just blend, right? That's what, 4? 4?
Yeah.
5th one, my body. Hey, it took a while to get to this point.
All kind of spunks going on here.
Right, it took a while to get here, and then I recently started going to the gym. I like it now, right? I'm gradually learning to love all of this. Anyway,
what about the topic?
You're talking about baggage. Okay, so Renata, what's baggage to you?
Baggage to me is the things that you refuse to let go of. It's the things that you carry with or throughout, your lifetime. for however long you spend on the earth, it's almost like one of those things you don't want to let go of. And sometimes those baggages are really bad, but you've built yourself around it so much so that you don't know what you'll be like if you actually let it go. So those are the things that you choose to hold on to, no matter how toxic or bad it is. You just keep it.
I agree with what Renata said. So my definition for baggage would be very basic. I think that baggage is just basically experiences that we refuse to experience. So you go through something bad, and rather than taking it for that and looking for the good in it, you just ignore it, you let it build up, and then gradually you've got a whole lot of things that you should have dealt with popping up on you at times that you cannot deal with it at the worst possible times.
True.
Yeah.
We want to know what you guys think baggage is, and this is one of the topics that we really was looking around it, tiptoeing around it to see how best we can put it over to actually discuss it. And weirdly, when I was in town yesterday, and it's so busy and it's hot, so
what's the curse word? I want a candy.
When I was looking, it's like everybody was walking and they're so busy and they're engulfed in their lives and what it is that they're doing, but it's like they're just walking around damaged from something, from someone, or something they refuse to deal with that they let fester and it's just infected. But then it doesn't look that way, I know that they are, but on the outside it's all smiles and everybody's happy and everybody seems to be so perfect in their life because we've allowed social media to kind of depict how we're
supposed to be.
Exactly, because we can control that, we can control what we allow people to see. But really and truly, it's funny how this cycle is weird, because I can be damaged, but I can show you the best side of me, the exciting side, the side where I live this lavish lifestyle and everything's just popping. And you would want that, but you would not know that I am extremely and emotionally and physically damaged. But you would want my lifestyle. But
I think it's something, baggage affects everybody, right?
True.
So from the young to the old, the in between. I think the older you get, the more everybody's willing to call it a midlife crisis. But you're young, and then I guess that everybody thinks that you don't know what you're talking about. So you find a lot of millennials, people our age, in and around 21 and so on, that, like Renata said, allow social media to dictate how they're supposed to be. So you ignore it in favor of YOLOing or being savage or all of these things. But then what? How long do you ignore it until it becomes a problem?
Question is, why do you think people don't want to claim their baggage?
The social media thing that I just said. You see, guys are supposed to be tough, right? They're supposed to look tough, act tough, right? So, and then if they're not seen, and have you ever heard that thing where girls are supposed to be attracted to the tough guy, the bad guy, the one that's going to ill-treat her and stuff and whatever, because good guys always finish last. That's nonsense. Right. I don't know who put that out there, that guys are supposed to not show emotion in order to get any sort of respect or attention from anybody. And then females, if we dare breathe a bit too hard or speak about our emotions, then you're being overly emotional. Or I hate this word, don't ever call me extra. Right? If I'm dressed up and stuff, oh, you're doing it, you extra then. But if I'm speaking about my feelings or somehow the way something bothers me, don't ever call me extra. I hate it. I absolutely do. Because these are things that are bothering me. And if we walk around with this whole thing that social media is saying to us, or this whole idea that we're supposed to be numb, we're not supposed to feel anything, I'm going to be a pressure cooker that will run out of water and then I will explode. So, listen. We should listen.
It does, and I completely agree. I've had the last time I met a friend that I haven't seen in 3 years, and he was telling me about him and his brother, and the mere fact that he's a free-spirited individual, he just lives life, fully cultured, just loves life in itself. But his brother is somehow equating masculinity to being tough, and because of the fact that my friend is the free-spirited one, the one that dances and, just likes to wear bright colors or whatever, it looks weird for most people, because you're like, that's not a man, or that's not how you're supposed to be, or, if you talk about your feelings too much, Mom, Benan, what's up? So it happens. It really does. It's actually annoying.
It really is. Right.
Why do what you were asking?
No, I was gonna ask you, like, what do you think about it?
Oh, I feel people are scared. Generally speaking, I feel people are just scared to say that I'm an alcoholic and I need to fix it, that I abuse drugs in some sort of way and I need to fix this, or that I am depressed and this is something that I've built my life around. This is who I am. I am a depressed individual. And then to get to the point whereby you identify this and you claim this as being your baggage and to deal with it, it's almost like if you don't want the pain to go away. I mean, you don't like the pain, but you don't know who you are without the pain. Mm-hmm. So it's the fear of the unknown. It's the fear of change that kind of strikes people and want them to not claim that. Like if I say this is what's wrong, then I'd have to fix it. And when I fix it, what defines me now? So it's like that question of inner self, which is,
I think that everybody's kind of at some point, well, to a certain extent, we may be afraid of vulnerability, because if something becomes your identifier and you have to let it go, then you're exposed. You're out there, like,
not knowing who you are.
Yeah. Right. So I understand.
I mean, as most persons, and then everybody's so you want to know what your purpose is. You've been here. It's like a constant battle between your inner self, war within your mind. How to deal with that.
And I think like that's when we come up on the dangers of not claiming your baggage. You see, I do this thing. It's weird. It's a bad habit. Something I probably need to fix. So I travel. My last trip was last year June. I got back in July because I went for my brother's graduation. But what I did, I came back home. The clothes in my suitcase were clean, so I shoved it under the bed and I never unpacked it. I hate unpacking suitcases. So if I need something from it, I go in there, I take it out, I wear it, wash it, put it right back in there. So if I could get away with it, the next time that I do go out, I can pull out that same suitcase and I'm taking it with me to the airport. Right? But you see, the trouble comes if, so say I'm traveling to the States in wintertime. It's December. It's really cold over there, and my suitcase is only packed for summer or just for the weather in the Bahamas. Then what? I got a bunch of short shorts, a bathing suit that I cannot wear there, or else I can be exposed to the elements and I can freeze everything off. And I think the same thing goes for life, relationships, friendships, just you on the whole. If you keep taking all of this baggage, right, never opening it to add or subtract things that may not be of value, then you get to the airport and then you're either unprepared when you get to your destination, or you got a whole lot of things that you cannot deal with, or you're just overweight. You got a whole lot of stuff that you should have gotten rid of.
True.
Right?
That is so true.
What? You know what? That ain't nothing I hate more than getting to the airport and then having to open your suitcase and then you gotta sort it out. So in life, I think that we really just should sit down at some point and open that bag before you get out the door, before you get into the new relationship. Yeah.
Agreed. I think the worst that can happen, and there's a lot of bad things that can happen, but the worst for me is exploding around the people that you most care about.
Hurt people.
Exactly. So it's like when you're carrying all of this around and refusing to acknowledge that this is something that's bad, this is something that has affected you or is still affecting you, it's like you explode and you blow up like a bomb, and then the thing that's bad is the shrapnels. Like, you know, shrapnels are like the pieces. So it's like you affect the other persons, and in blowing up, you can hurt the people that you claim to love, your friends, your boyfriend or girlfriend, your family. So it's like it's something that you need to address. And I mean, it's not easy. It's never going to be easy. But if you don't, you think of it, you not only hurt yourself, but you hurt the other people around you, and that's like one of the worst things that can happen, actually, by not claiming it.
Yeah.
So I guess we can only talk, or we should address what happens when you do claim it. Like the benefits of actually saying these things.
Yeah. But before we move on, like with the whole baggage thing as well, you see, it forces you to form these unrealistic expectations of people. So somebody comes into your life, and because based on everything you've experienced, you expect let's say relationship wise, you expect this guy to be a certain way. You hold him to a standard that's above his capabilities, and then when he doesn't live up to it, then you sit there and you beat yourself up because you know what, you're disappointed. Always. Right? So like I saw something one time that asked if like, your relationship ended, yeah, so what? Did this guy lie to you about his intentions, or did you lie to yourself about what he was capable of, or how much love he was willing to give? So I think that whether it's relationships or friendships or just you on the whole, baggage always leads to a bunch of unrealistic expectations, and whenever you do have those, and you always have to leave a little room. But because you're so blinded by all of this excess weight that you're carrying, you never see it. So it always blindsides you. It always knocks you right off of your feet, and then you have to struggle to get back up when it's finished.
It's actually like one of the pillars of life. I feel in regards to that, it kind of puts pressure on the other person, because it's like now it's making that person feel like they're not doing enough, or it's like, what is wrong with me? The mere fact that you're expecting so much of me. It's like girls who have issues or unresolved issues with their father, and I'm talking from experience, like I know this, and it's really like you expect somebody to treat you better, or to come along and be like, you know, you're a princess and you've always been, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to expect that person, more so demand that the person treats you that way because you've never been treated like that before, it's like asking too much of them, and therefore putting yourself in a position where eventually, or possibility exists, you just might disappoint yourself, and then it's like adding more hurt, more baggage to your already a lot.
Yeah. And then if you don't expect him to be in knight in shining armor, then things are going good, and you sit there and you wait for it to fall apart. So you wait for the other shoe to drop.
Yes, right. That is actual thing. You know, some people who are so used to pain that they don't know what they'll do without it. Yeah. So it's like when you're going good, like when you had a really good week, a month, right. A month, you know,
and then you're like, so when is it all going to fall apart?
When is this person gonna disappoint me? It's like you're almost waiting for that pain because you feel so uncomfortable, like you don't know what is going on. And if you're somebody that feels that way, you have unclaimed baggages.
Yeah.
You need to address it.
And like we all walking around here, willing to emotionally invest in something, right? But whenever it comes to relationships, friendships, like I said before, even situationships, right? Yes, you're capable of the emotional investment, but are you emotionally accessible? Right?
Are you?
Are you?
I'm not.
I am working on it.
These walls here. It's like a thing. It's a thing. But it's a work. I feel like as long as it's a work in progress, you're getting somewhere. You know. Yeah. I feel like we're all broken pieces of glass. We really are. Nobody's whole. Nobody's perfect. I feel like we're all broken pieces of glass. And until we figure out a way to come together to actually let some type of light shine through us, then we'll always be that broken piece of glass. Yeah. And it might just be dangerous, but it's true. No, it needs to be shattered.
Yeah. So okay, so we've dealt with like what baggage is, dangers of it, the benefits of addressing it, or how do you go about addressing it?
Like, the question for me is, at what age, or in my, I don't want to say midlife crisis, but in like my crisis, you know, of some part of my life, do I say, okay, then I need to fix this? Addressing it is always the issue, but it's also the solution to move forward in life. I mean, having yourself tell yourself that you are broken, that you need to stop doing this, that you need to stop supporting this habit of yours that is very bad, that's very toxic, it's like a wake-up call. And like in that moment, it's going to hurt. You're going to feel bad. You're going to cry. Crying doesn't mean you're weak. I swear to you, it doesn't mean you're weak. But you're going to cry, you're going to hurt, you're going to fall back, you're going to relapse. All these things are going to happen, but it's all a part of the process. And when you claim that, because remember, you can't fix anything if you don't think it's broken.
Yeah, we were looking at this video where this guy, I can't remember the name of the guy, but he said that if you don't claim your baggage, and it usually becomes the excuses that you use for not achieving your purpose. And I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
what?
I was abused, so like I can't do
If
anything
you don't,
else.
like in any program, like look at AA. I don't know like why I gotta go to AA, but like if you look at Alcoholics Anonymous, then you see the first step to doing anything is always acknowledging that you have a problem, right? So if you can't say that I've got baggage or I'm damaged, then you walk around with this false sense of self, walk around thinking that you're okay and that it's fine, but it's not.
Like if you're looking at this, and for the past 15 minutes, have you said to yourself once, "Yo, I have baggage"? What are you looking for?
I was looking for my book, but anyway, continue. No, the smaller one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, have you said to yourself that I'm damaged, or call yourself by your name? Yes, speaking in that type of language, and say you're damaged. You've been damaged. So it's all to the point as to say, or to address it, or to just highlight it, that this is where I've fallen down on so many occasions. This is what I need to address. This is what I'm willing to address. And like I said, it's never going to be easy, but it's going to help. It really is. You can't fix it if you don't think it's broken. But if you do think it's broken and you're willing to fix it, it's not going to be easy. But eventually, you will. And this doesn't mean that will be the only thing that you'll have to fix. I mean, as life continues, you have other issues, building. Probably bigger than the one you had before. But you just gotta fix it. You have to fix it and you move on. That's just how life is.
You choose to accept the good, the bad, and the good in the bad. Right.
It's true.
Right. Because I feel like sometimes like we get so hooked on dealing with things that you just focus on the bad. Like my daddy said one time that you attract where you like the things that you invest all of your time thinking about. So if your outlook on life is negative, then you will just keep attracting all of these negative things, right? I think that you also have to look for the good in all of the bad, right? There's always something to learn from a bad experience, and you need to like roll with it, accept it. It's happened. It's part of your journey. Like I refuse to believe that bad things just happen to me. I think that bad things happen for a reason to teach me something that I don't already know. See, at this moment in my life, I feel like I've experienced a lot. I haven't experienced everything, but I've experienced such a vast, amount of things that I think that nothing could come along now that I don't know how to handle. It may happen on a greater or lesser scale, but I will use from what I've learned to be able to approach this. So rather than starting from ground up like before, I may start midway, or maybe a bit higher than midway. At least there's some knowledge. Like what Renata said, accepting it is always the first thing, and it's tough because, like she mentioned, her daddy issues, right? Nobody can come along and force you to accept it. Nobody can come along and fix you, right? I can be here, and maybe somebody else could be here, right, to help her get through these issues. But at some point, she has to be the person to sit down and say, okay, you know what, I will take a break. I'll take myself out somewhere to some silence, sit down and think about all of these things that I've got going on so that I don't walk around making other people pay for it. I don't feel like we do it on purpose.
True.
You unconsciously just emit all of this negative energy. You're afraid that something's going to happen, so you just sit there and you patiently wait on it. Yeah. I feel like I talk too much. You expect disappointment if you cannot claim your baggage, right? Unrealistic expectations, disappointment. Yeah.
That's true. And it's like, it's almost like telling yourself that you don't want to carry these things. Telling yourself that these are things that you can't control, so no longer do I want to obsess or stress over it. And sometimes you need to let the process go how it's supposed to go. And somebody asked me to define myself, and then somebody also defined me. And then, long story short, the person said, you're like a burning process. Like how you refine minerals. It's like it goes through this intense process where it's constantly burning, so it could be what it is meant to be. And it struck me because the burning process is always the hardest, but it's a process that's necessary for you to get to where it is that you need to be. for that diamond to, you know, really have value to it, or for it to be like, you know, worth something, you have to go through the burning process. And everybody, and I kid you not, I've been in situations whereby I hated the process. I didn't want the process
Nobody
to happen.
likes it. Like,
Exactly. But it's like, it's
pressure.
necessary. It is very necessary. So in claiming your baggage, eventually you go through that process, and depending on how big of a bag you have or you've been carrying over the number of years, it might be even harder to address or fix. But at the end of the day, you feel light. When you've unpacked and throw away things you really don't need, you feel light. You sleep better, and then you're always, it's like you're ready to walk in what is meant for you. You're ready to take, and trust me, the longer you take to kind of address the whole baggage situation, it feels like
you'll have to unpack.
Exactly.
The longer you'll have to spend.
Exactly.
And by then, this baggage has already done some sort of damage. So there's extra work that you have to do in order to be okay.
And another thing is, don't ever feel like it's too late.
It's never. Like,
don't ever feel like it's too late. Like you're 35, pushing 40, whatever. I don't think it's ever too late to address.
Or too early.
To address.
Right?
Or too early too. Yeah, that's actually true. I mean, if you're big enough to say this is the issue, if you're big enough to identify it, spot it out, call it by the neck. Is that too violent?
Imagine you had low gum.
If you're not too big to say, you know, this is what it is, then you shouldn't be too big to deal with it. You fix it. You need to fix it, because this is for your well-being. This is for your health. And if you claim to love the people around you as much as you say you do, then this is something you need to be willing to work on. You know, self-love, you before them, but also just you.
Yeah. Oh, she's quoting my blog. I feel like you see me blushing.
For the persons that you should let them go check out your new work.
Yeah, I put out a blog post, but we'll talk about it at the end of the video. Oh yeah, focus. Okay, another suggestion I would make in terms of like the whole claiming your baggage thing. As much as nobody can force you to do it, you shouldn't do it alone. So whether you having a circle of people to be there to remind you on your bad days that, hey, you know what, all this is happening for a reason, right? You just praising yourself right there? Anyway, right? Have a circle. Or what you can also do too, read. Expand your mind. Add some good things in there. Like we spoke about the self-esteem thing and how we would beat up on ourselves a lot, right? But if you can sit there and add some knowledge, then maybe somebody somewhere along the line, whether it's a book, a podcast, a video, anything, will help you.
Podcasts are really good too.
Yeah, Simply King podcast. Like y'all can check that out.
Look at you.
Look at you. You should also not be afraid to be vulnerable, right? My soul twin said to me one time, "What is art without vulnerability?" Right? I am a walking piece of art. Every part of me, my mind, my body, spirit, everything. So why not allow some vulnerability in? Why not learn from my vulnerability? Why not just embody that thing and just allow it to make me more receptive of all of the experiences that I'm going to have? Yeah. Another thing too, get close to yourself. I think a lot of people walk around being terribly afraid of their own company. See, I grew up on a small island, and so for that reason, I don't get bored, like, ever. Right? So, like, if somebody comes to me like I'm bored, I'm like, how? There's so many things that you could do, right? You watch TV, you eat, you sleep, you paint, you write, you do anything. Enjoy your own company. If you can't enjoy your own company, then you're in trouble, right?
True.
Nobody ever well, that sounds a bit ominous, but people leave. Accept that. You need to be okay with you when they finally get gone.
You need to be happy with you too.
Yeah. So, what do we tell them now? I think we can kind of wrap it up because like we're approaching half an hour.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so, closing arguments.
I know you sense Power Ranger in this, right? Jokes. Anyways,
whatever. I can't stick a middle finger to in this video, but you know it's there mentally.
Whatever. So, closing. Claiming your baggage is a necessity. It's something that you need to do. We're all walking around damaged. Don't ever feel like it's just you alone. Don't ever feel like you're the only one going through this, because 10 out of 10 times you're not. So claim it. Put on your big girl panty
or your butter,
and you claim it. It is what it is. And it's your life. At the end of the day, you need to make sure you're all right. At the end of the day, you need to make sure that in here, soul-wise, mentally, that your content is good. Yeah. That everything about you is good for you. Because that's how you admit that to other people, and that's how you make everybody around you comfortable, you know. But it needs to start with you first. So you claim it, address it, grab it, say, listen, I need to let you go. And in letting that go, you feel light, you know. And I feel like you can't go wrong. And what's the worst that can happen, you know?
Yeah. Like, coming off what Renata said, I heard somewhere, like, whether it's sex or conversation, whether you intend to do it or not, you always imprint your soul, yourself, on somebody, right? It may not be as massive as you think, this big, you know, fairy tale thing or whatever, but everybody that you meet gets something of you to be reminded.
Whether it's bad or good.
Whether it's bad or good, there's always something, right? So why not leave something positive, right? I am terribly afraid of bad karma, so like I walk around trying to do good deeds, like always, right? You spot something, rather than allowing your baggage to only focus on the negative, maybe you should try changing your mindset, right? See, I think, like with me thinking that, you know, bad things just don't happen, they're all happening for a reason, I'm choosing to focus on the long term, right? Someday I can be Dr. Cook.
Hey.
Yeah, right? And then everything's going to fall into place. So whether it's me personally or whether it's relationships, everything is working towards something. So it's easy sometimes, like you see in the video that I looked at too a while ago. Well, my friend sent. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry. So sometimes you see a mountain in the distance, right? And you know that, hey, you want to get there, but you don't see the journey that you have to take. Or sometimes you see the road, but you don't see the mountain. Right? So you just have to have some sort of faith. So whether you believe in God or the universe or whatever it is that you believe in, find something to actually believe in that gives you the courage to make that step to get towards where you're supposed to go. Claiming your baggage, it's a big thing. And if you don't, then it will always come back to bite you in the ass. And I chose to say that curse word, so not to don't deserve no sweetie.
Ask not curse words. I digress.
I didn't give you no sweetie. So in closing, I will say to you, I've got baggage and I'm damaged. And that's me choosing to accept it so that I can get to making that first step of choosing to own up to it. Renata?
I have built my life around my baggages. I have built my life on pain because it always felt like one of the things I could rely on. And I choose not to anymore. I choose to let that go because there's so much more that I can be doing instead of crying about my situation, you know? And that is just a choice. And it's as easy as it might sound, I think the work behind it is going to prove how strong of a person I am.
Yeah.
And therefore putting me into my purpose because you can't hear anybody if you want to go to the gym.
Like, oh,
right? So you can't just say, listen, okay, this is my baggage and this is what's bad about me, but just highlight it and not do anything about it. That's not now it work. So yeah.
Imagine we're not going to tell me and I tell you.
Listen.
Right. Like one time, I know we're supposed to be closing.
We don't
but like, hold on, wait.
Yes.
So one time I wrote about like living on a clock or living on a compass. Right? You have to choose where you want to live.
That.
See, living on a compass is more direction based. Like you set a goal and you know that there are a lot of things that you need to put in place in order to get there. Versus living on a clock where everything is just deadline. Right? So you never take time to sit down and look at all of these things. And I think that that's where you usually like build up the most baggage, right? Where you just see something, it happens, and you put it in the corner because it doesn't fit into your schedule. So maybe you should sit down, take some time, analyze it, where do you live, and also check out my blog too because I put out a new post and it's lit.
Tell the name.
Oh, what was it called? Oh my God, it's about.
My guy.
What's the name of my blog post?
Don't do this.
What's it? The Life of Pi. I forgot.
You.
The Life of Pi.
At the irony of Z, for most of you who don't know, and read it. It's really nice. Life of Pi.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys next week.
We promise that we will bring out another video. So in the meantime, just like, comment, share, you know, the usual.
We'll work on the lighting.
Yeah, and then
why are we getting so close? Like the lighting is faded.
Yo, we gotta go or else we can keep talking, right? Bye-bye.
Bye.